For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for another edition of the Ryan Lewicki Show, currently joined by Wheeling University head baseball coach Ryan Lewicki. And Ryan, you guys end up sweeping the North Carolina series after playing that makeup game on Wednesday, go 4-0 for the weekend. Talk about that weekend overall and kind of what it was like for your team.
Yeah, it was a long weekend just in the sense of traveling, 8 hours down, playing 2 days, having a day off because of rain, and then traveling back 8 hours, getting ready in 2 days to play Clarion. But, at the end of the day, the big thing was getting an in-region big weekend, with Clarion out of the PSAC, Glenville out of us, obviously in the Mountain East. Just trying to get 4 good games under our belt where we're trying to see where we stand the weekend prior of conference play. That was our first set of 4 games, in the weekends leading up to conference play. So it was good to get, in a sense, 4 starters out, even with this game, Wednesday getting moved to there. But it was good to see a lot of guys play, a lot of guys pitch, get a lot of guys an opportunity over the 4 games to get at bats and play some defense. But it was just a good stretch to see where we really stack. And it was 4 games where, we felt like if we play our best baseball, we're better than the teams we're playing. And we actually did that. Had some bad innings throughout the entire 4 games. But, for the collective part, keeping teams, in check, I think we kept the 4 games as a total to about 17 runs, so we're limiting them to a little over 4 runs a game. That gives you an every opportunity to win baseball games. So pleased, proud, and again, just what we needed this weekend leading up into conference play.
And through these early portions of the games, your offense has kind of been leading the way. Your tops in the MEC in average home runs and RBIs entering conference play this weekend. Talk about that offense and kind of how they're gelling and getting on the right track.
Yeah, I think, again, this is the first time, like I said, we've talked more about our approach and our OBP and try to eliminate strikeouts and be better with 2 strikes. And I think they've taken it to heart and actually made it kind of valuably matter into what they're doing day in and day out. And I think our practice, our preparation, I think the guys truly understand that if they value what we're trying to do as an offense, we can be really good. And I think a lot of guys are getting aggressive early, trying to hunt their stuff early and having success. And then when they're not, they're doing a great job of extending at bats, right? Battling better. I think our strikeouts right now are only about 6.5 to 7 a game, which isn't bad through 12 games. I think our OBP is over 420, which, is pleasing for a coach because it allows for big innings to happen. And I think some guys are just getting confident right now. And I think that's the other big part through 12 games is, can you find some confidence? Are you seeing the baseball really well? Are you having success hunting what you're hunting? And I think it's only going to get more challenging, though, now on, moving into conference play. But I think through 12 games, the offense has found a little bit of a niche, and I think that's what we needed 12 games in. So we're pleased, but, again, we won't settle. We'll keep working, keep battling, try to figure out how to be better, moving into this next stretch of 30-some conference games ahead.
And in that most recent game against Clarion, you guys threw a lot of arms in that game, a lot of different guys coming out of the bullpen having success. Talk about that bullpen group. We've talked about the starters a lot. Talk about that bullpen and kind of how they're helping behind the starters.
Yeah, the bullpen, we're still figuring out some pieces to it. We have a lot of depth, and we have some really good talent in the bullpen. Obviously, Hunter Dick, being an all-region guy coming back, has had a little bit of ups and downs this early spring, but had a really good bounce-back outing. I think against Glenville, that night game down there in Wilson, looked really back to his old self with good command, good velocity, throwing what he wanted. So it was good to see him get back to where he is. Sebastian Kahn, obviously, has been lights out for us, in the back end. I think in his 3 or 4 outings, he's probably struck out 12 guys. He's only probably seen 18 batters. So, just really good job on his part, commanding both sides of the zone. Noah Zankiewicz, obviously the mid-year pickup, has done a phenomenal job, from the left side, whereas Seb and Dick are both our righties. Just again, 1 walk, I think, to 11 strikeouts in his 4 outings. So, those 3 right now have taken the big leap as the 3 guys right now that just consistently do the job they need to. But then there's other pieces in that bullpen. There are some other guys who really shined over this last weekend at Wilson and then in the midweek with Clarion to showcase that they also have ability and opportunities for us down the road to be really good. But, yeah, there's about 7 or 8 in that pen, and I think it's just us having to keep figuring out who fits what really well. But I like the pen. They've done a great job for us. They got to keep eliminating the free stuff and keep challenging hitters. But I think they'll only get more confident and do a better job as this goes down the road.
And with that game on Wednesday, you guys had a little less time to prepare for conference play this week. Talk about the preparation for this upcoming weekend and kind of how you bounce back from playing Wednesday and then have to go back out there on Saturday.
Yeah, it's been tough the last 2 days, because not only are you trying to prep for Charleston State, the big matchup, but You're trying to get your field ready. We're trying to, do everything that most people don't see, aerating, adding turfs, cutting grass. We're trying to, obviously avoid the rain, get this field ready for the weekend. But, no, with preparation, guys are in a good headspace. They understand, this time of the year, it's not so much about, the long practices, the tons of reps. It's just about, can we fine-tune the things we need to fine-tune, right? Hitters, can we have an approach in what we're hunting in practice for some station works? Pitchers, make sure we go through our daily routines and make sure we get our bullpens lined up. And defensively, just not overdo it. Make sure we get the reps when we need to. Don't overdo the arms. But with Charleston State, there's just going to be a lot of good energy. This is a big weekend. And I think, preparation, it's in a good place. We'll have a short little workout here this afternoon to get ready. But I think all in all, they understand what it takes to be ready for this weekend.
Currently joined by Wheeling University head baseball coach Ryan Lewicki. And Ryan, as you guys enter conference play this week, talk about the conference as a whole and kind of what you're seeing around the league as we get ready to get into the stretch towards the MEC tournament.
Yeah, it's the same as normal. You have really good top-end teams, and you have some teams at the bottom that are still trying to figure out where they fit. The conference, being 11 teams this year, your tops are up there again. Charleston's up there again. Frostburg's up there again. Concord State, the teams that are really, really competitive year in and year out are up there. And then just some of the other schools are just, again, non-conference play depends on who you play and where you go. So they're trying to figure it out, but the league is always going to be competitive top to bottom. Anybody can beat anybody on any given weekend. 4 games is extremely hard to sweep anybody as it is, just based on, the amount of innings you play over 2 days. But yeah, I think the top tier are doing what they should, and I think everybody else is just trying to figure out where they fit. So it'll be a fun league, really 8 weeks ahead of us to figure out conference play, and we'll see where we stack up at the end of those 8 weeks.
And obviously your opener a huge week. You guys get Charleston, who you guys played in the semifinals last year, State to follow them. Talk about this opening weekend and facing these two teams.
Yeah, it's again, last year I didn't like it when they switched it. You get the best out of the South right out of the chute. I think the neat part, at least this year, it'll be up at our place. I think that will obviously bring a little bit of more excitement to the players and having to be on the road for this opening conference weekend. Charleston's sitting, top of the South again at 10-4, playing really good baseball. They pitch it well. They play good defense. They have plus hitters. It's going to be a fun opening first 2 games on Saturday against them to see who's ready to go take a series early. And then State, same thing, pitching it well, playing plus defense, have a really experienced lineup back. And I think they're a team that if they honestly get hot, they're going to be really, really good in the South. So it's always tough playing those two, whether home or away. But for us, I think, these guys are hungry. They're a little bit more sparked up than a year ago. A year ago we got swept in this series. First time it's ever happened for us. So I think, that energy, and then with us being where we're at right now with some confidence and some swagger, I think it's a big weekend for us to want to go win a series right away and put a statement, into our 24th season. So it'll be a lot of fun.
And finally, you guys off to the best start in program history at 9-3 after the win on Wednesday. Talk about what that's like and kind of how you guys keep it going.
Yeah, like I said, I think this group's starting to find that confidence where I felt early in the year we didn't have that. I felt like even the 2 games just at Cal, we looked more nervous with an older group than most teams would. I think now that they've settled in through 12 games, obviously starting to find some success, I think that confidence is settling in, that swagger's starting to settle in. I think they understand that they are good enough to go out and win baseball games collectively every single time. And most of the time, they're going to dictate the outcome, right? Whether they want to play routine baseball, have big innings, be really good on the mound, pitch to contact, not give up the free stuff. So I think we just have learned through 12 games and 4 weekends that we are good enough to be that type of team. And I think this weekend is only going to test us and really let us see where we stand down the road in this league and in this region. So I think they're excited for it. They're ready for it. And, again, it should be 4 really good games of baseball.
Thanks, Ryan. Good luck in this opening weekend. Can't wait to see you out there.
Thanks, Zach.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.